everybody, it's Allie, and today in this video we are diving into my completed Week in the Life album for 2021. Week in the Life is, every time I finish this project I'm like, it is a labor of love. There is effort required in this one, in what I feel like are the best possible ways. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm just going to take you through one day at a time. I didn't do a process video for this one. I did do a process video for Monday, and Monday is pretty representative of what I'm doing for the rest of the week. So in terms of any techniques or special ways that I'm cutting, if you have questions about any of that, you can ask me in the comments below and I'm happy to answer them. Again, this is a week-long project. It actually definitely happens in phases, right? I start off with getting ready for the project, then I actually do the documenting week where I'm taking photos, I'm writing things down. This year I chose to do all of my writing, any type sort of the story that I added here was done by hand during the week. And then the next phase of the project is actually bringing all of that content together into an album in whatever way that, you know, ends up looking like for you. For me, I'm using a 6x8 album. This is includes products that we offered this year with our Week in the Life release. And let's just go ahead and dive in, and we're gonna I'll flip through day by day and talk about a few of the different things. Some of this is covered in our Week in the Life prep day. That is a $5 community day that you can access that content at any time. So even if you didn't participate in the community day prior to the Week in the Life this year, you can go in, you can purchase that, and then you can have access to all of the content from that day, which includes downloads like the Reason Why download and this Is Us download, and a variety of different things talking about ways to approach the project. All right, so I've got my intro page here. I was playing with the tissue paper, definitely bringing in the color. I started off with my Reason Why, which this year was to simply have fun and be playful. And I tried to keep that in mind both during the documenting week and as I went ahead with the process of putting my project together. I've got the pocket that I created here during the prep day. I did go ahead and update the tag. On the tag here, I had added everyone's ages. And then these are some photos that we actually had taken this past weekend. So not during the actual week, but close enough to me to feel like it was an appropriate ad there for, you know, who we are right now and what we look like. On the back, I just added a simple dot pattern paper and then one of the chipboard pieces. One of the things that I did with the chipboard this year is on a lot of them, I peeled the back off, and let me show you what that looks like on a different one here. So sometimes with a chipboard, sometimes I love the thickness and sometimes it's just really thick. And for a project like this that has a lot of chipboard pieces in it, it can be really thick. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just slip my fingernail right underneath here, and you can pull off some of the chipboard backing if you don't want it to be as thick. So that's just a little tip there if you want to incorporate that into any of your own projects. You can do that with most of the chipboard. Obviously it takes the, removes the adhesive, but you can use threadline tape or something like that to adhere that down onto your project. And I did that with this one just to make it a little less thick. I also took one of the felt hearts from the Liz Tom and Alha Paisley Press mini kit and stapled that on there. So that's our little starting place here for the album this year. Again, information on the pocket and the printables for this can be found in the prep day. All right, also in the prep day, I talked about using the 2x2 pocket page for a currently listening and a currently watching section in your project. And so these are podcasts that I'm currently listening to and shows that and or movies that we are currently watching. I had a couple empty spaces, so I just put in some fun patterns there. Then diving into Monday, if you've already watched the progress video, you've seen what Monday looks like, and that really is the design formula or foundation that I'm following this year. So we've got the half circle that's stitched, it's got a photo adhered on each side. I have my Monday looks like or my daily looks like journaling slipped into this pocket. I do cut the page protector here so that I have that nice rounded section there on the top. And then on the back here, I just have a 4x6. I printed out a 4x6 for each one of the days like that. Then originally in my album, and I did talk about this in the other video too, I had just a printed page, but I ended up using it as an overlay instead and placing the overlay that's available in a digital package on top of a photo for each day, and you'll see that repeated throughout the album. I've got one of the circle tags from the mini kit and then a chipboard heart on top. I did use foam adhesive to adhere that on so it sticks up a little bit off the back of the page. Then it moves into, if I take this out, you can see that I'm using it is a photo collage, and it's a 2-page photo collage that spreads across both pages. I set this up in Photoshop and then just added photos in, and I repeated this for each of the following days too. And then I have just a couple things that are inserted in the middle. I'll be adding the story of today diamond on each one, as well as the smaller circle tag from the mini kit onto the second page of my collage. Then for most days, I have a cup of coffee photo there, as well as another one of the journaling cards. All right, so the inside of the spreads on these have a few different things throughout the album. The first day on Monday, I did a little bit of stamping, and then I did writing underneath. And then you'll see for the rest of the days, I actually ended up stamping all over. So good reminder that you can mix it up depending on, you know, do you have more story that you want to tell, or just how do you want to decorate too? What other things do you want to add? This year I also added a few more like screenshot things that I did on my phone, and you'll see those in the following days. All right, and then this was the other, there's writing for most of the days. There's a couple of them that I didn't have writing, so I've added some other things on, and you'll see there as we go. And then the day ends with the full page photo on the back. All right, so moving into Tuesday, we've got the Tuesday Looked Like card, or Tuesday Looked Like This. I really liked having that be the guide for my journaling this year. It's definitely a different approach than I've done in the past, where sometimes, you know, I've had pages and pages of words. This felt like a good reflection of kind of where I'm at right now, trying to loosen things up a little bit. I do so many projects over the course of the year. I tell lots of different kinds of stories. I guess what I'm trying to say is this worked for me this year, and it's a really nice reminder to take whatever you have. What did you document during the course of your week? And maybe it feels like it wasn't as much as you've done before. Maybe it feels like it's a lot more. Just take whatever you have and put that into an album, right? Take that and use that as the content for this year. Maybe you did one day, maybe you did 3 days, maybe you did one day at the beginning of the week and one day at the end of the week, right? Those 2 days together, those tell a story of a particular, or of this particular point in time. So I'm really happy with how it turned out overall. So following along with the formula that I set up, I've got the spread here, you know, it starts on this photo collage spread, comes over to here, the coffee photo, adding the index tabs. I really like that on the inside of on my inserts. Here's another screenshot. And then in some spots in this area in the album for each of the days, I've just gone through my kit cards, my 3x4 cards that I have, and added those in, sentiments that spoke to me for one reason or another. Now here's a look, let's pull this guy out just so you can see it. Here's a look at the way that I ended up treating these pages, the rest of these pages. So on Monday I had some more journaling to write, but on the rest of them I didn't really have anything else that I necessarily wanted to say, but I love the idea of the repeat stamping. So on this one I repeat stamped the word meow over and over again, because there was a lot of that, lots of cats popping up in these photos too. And then I took the plastic triangles and stapled that on, and you'll see that I've done this in a couple different ways in the following days, but I think that that was a fun graphic way to utilize that card and add something else into the day. And then this, of course, was what I actually wrote down during the day itself. So my photo collage, I liked doing the photo collage this year. That was something that is different and I haven't done in the past. It was nice to have an opportunity to mix up a few things. For me, doing a photo collage like this is pretty quick and easy once I have my photos established. So that felt like a good choice for me this time. On some of these full page photos at the end of the day, I added on the fabric pieces there. I really like how those looked on these last photos too. love the full page photos. Still super happy for that. Moving into Wednesday, we've got more cats, right? Remembering again, this is a week when our kids weren't here from Monday until Friday afternoon. Lots of more, you know, little details, right? Text messages, information, and, you know, we started season 2 of For All Mankind, that kind of stuff. Adding on the stamps again, the small little stamps, the photo of Simon who came over to visit. Adding in the ribbon again and the circle tags there that were included in the kit. I've got pretty much following the same thing. You're going to see, I think it changes a little bit on Thursday. Photo collage, got the coffee photo again. I think there's 1 or 2 days where I didn't get the coffee photo, but I liked having that be my consistent photo for each day. That's always something that I think is fun, that when people do that is they, you know, identify something and they take a picture of that same thing every day to show kind of the progression of time, right? And so for me, that was the coffee in the morning. This time I had enough pictures to add a couple of photos into the 3x4s. I added a couple of the word phrase stickers on top of there. Here's another example of one of these, the craft 3x8 pages here. So on this one, I took the chipboard piece and I layered one of the transparent triangles, or excuse me, transparent diamonds right on top of there and stapled that. So, and tired was the repeat word that I stamped on that one. And I like the messy graphic look. I think that's what I said earlier, but that is definitely how I feel about that. All right, then moving on here, this is the, it had morning, afternoon, and evening, and I didn't write on there during the week. Definitely kind of wishing that I did, but I think I felt like whatever I said in here was already kind of covered that. So I just used those stamps. Again, these are the alpha stamps that we offered this time with the Week in the Life collection, where I just stamped work in the morning, CSA pickup, which was kind of the afternoon thing, and then chill was our evening, and added a couple word phrase stickers on top. And I feel like, you know, if you're thinking about kind of the rhythm of your day, for me, that really was the rhythm of my day, you know, like working more in the morning, afternoon. CSA pickup was kind of like a midway point. There should be more. I should have just stamped work again right here, and then kind of chilling out in the evening, and got some pictures of that too. And then again here with an enlarged photo, cats, Aaron's feet, one of the fabric stickers, and then the little evidence of us stamped on there. So Thursday was one of the days where I had fewer photos. Definitely still had enough photos to still play along with some of the design repetition that I had there. Added on the back, chopping up vegetables, the full page photo with the overlay, adding on top the circle there. And then in this one, because I had fewer photos, what I decided to do was not do the photo collage, because I literally didn't have enough photos for that. So I went ahead and just did more full page photos, but showing just me doing different things. So like me folding laundry, me working at my desk, and then the one on the back here, I think, is more laundry related stuff. So this was a day where laundry was a lot of the things that were happening as I was getting ready to kind of transition to the kids coming back. There's my coffee photo. Then on the inside, this is where in my blog post, I included photos that I didn't take. So I added that on there. This is from the Strong Story Kit. It says, thankful to be stronger in the broken places. Part of what I liked is just the green on there. Felt like it went well with all the other pictures that I had. Lots of you know, green outside pictures. So on Thursday, I just went ahead and repeat stamped the word work, and then again followed that same idea of using one of the chipboard pieces with one of the plastic diamonds on top. And I definitely I just like how that looks and feels across the spread there. And then here is what I did actually, you know, during the day again, during the actual day. So lots of the green in there. Loving the green, loving the green. And then on here, I think I actually forgot to add the story of today on here, and I did it. It's kind of backwards of what my design formula was, but that's part of one of the things I'm working on, is just being fine with that. Like, nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna go like, oh my God, you didn't have this on this page instead of on this page. it's not going to matter, right? It's just a little bit of an embellishment adding on to those photos. So then moving into Friday, we've got another cat picture there. This one was kind of funny because I really didn't have anything that I was wondering about. Like, I came back to this multiple times actually on this day of like, what am I wondering about? And I couldn't come up with anything. So I'm leaving it blank because I think it's a good reminder that sometimes it's just not there. A work life photo stamped on there, a Zoom, image of a Zoom call, loving these friends. Here's my Friday overlaid photo with the circle die cut there. And then moving into Friday, I was back to having, you know, more photos. So went ahead, did the photo collage, adjusted a little bit. Previously, I think that there was 4 of this size photo and then a thinner one, but I adjusted it based on the photos that I had. So I've got story of today, my coffee photo, the today storytelling there. This one again is another screenshot that I took of something that I shared on Instagram, and then a journal card. I think this one is from a Stories by the Month kit. I just kind of flipped through some 3x4 cards and added that in there. My repeat stamping on the 3x8 is friends, because I got to have a Zoom call with friends and then I got to see a bunch of friends at Anna's track meet, which was just lovely and wonderful, and is a kind of stark difference between last year, right, where there was none of that was happening. So very grateful for, so adding those things in there. And one of the things that I did for identifying like what word I wanted to stamp on here was I looked at what I actually journaled on this day, and seeing, you know, the Zoom calls with friends and then the getting to chat with the friends at the track meet. Both of those were things that I had documented during that day, so that made it kind of easy to identify a word that could be repeated right there. So a few more, just loving the colors on here too, you know, like a little bit more of the evening around here, which for this project, I think part of it, you know, it's like I always do my blog post before the end of the day generally, and so that I don't always have all my evening photos, or I don't take a lot of photos in the evening. I kind of like seeing the different colors. Like we have lots of hue bulbs around here that Erin likes to have different colors in our room. The girls have those LED lights, and then this is just sitting at my computer in the office there. And then a fun big photo of Anna running at her track meet. And then moving into Saturday, got my people are back. So now we have some photos of the people that live here besides just me and Erin. So Simon and Anna and I in the morning, Simon, Anna, and Audrey and I going to the farmer's market. This is from the farmer's market too. Picture outside where I was standing by the peonies that hadn't bloomed, which now they're like they're done and moving on to the next flowers here. Another one of those circle tags there. Was able to go ahead and add in collaged photos here. Kids went over to Katie's and watched Goonies at her house, which is really fun, and you'll see a reference to that in a little bit. The today card, then I had more photos here, so that definitely I was able to add in photos there. Market is what I repeat stamped on here, and then added on the This Happened diamond on top of that. And then I used the this and that card. I hadn't written down anything on the actual day, so I was able to, or what I decided to do was talk a little bit about you know, loving that the kids went over to Katie's for dinner. Katie, you know, she started working for me when Anna was like 6 months old. And so now she has her own kids. And so my kids are going over and hanging out with her kids. And it's just kind of a fun full circle sort of thing. Lots of photos outside on Saturday here. Made jam. That was something that we did after we went to the farmer's market. And probably one of my favorite photos from the week is this one of Simon and Anna and Audrey at the farmer's market. I really like how that one turned out. So I added on the chipboard piece that was available during the well, I believe that one's still available too. So moving into Sunday, then we've got, again, following along, same formula, right? Same formula, which makes it really simple as you're going about the process of putting this together. Having that design formula really does simplify the process for me because I don't have to think too hard. I have to think a little bit about where my photos are going to go, but I'm not reinventing the wheel each time when I go to tackle a particular day. So we've got some inside stuff, we've got outside stuff. This particular day we spent a lot of time at the river. Got the last circle tag on there. A bunch of the river photos. Loved saving like the green for this day. There's my coffee. And then adding in this photo here that is a photo of a picture of the shadow of myself, and then a journal card. This I think is a Stories by the Month card too, I think, if I can remember right. There's been so many of them, but I liked that one, especially as we're moving into summer. I'm thinking of the new beginning of summer. And then my repeat stamping on the 3x8 here just is like love repeated. And I have one of the transparent diamonds on top of the chipboard where I did peel some of the backing off the chipboard there. And then I did write about this one, like what happened and how I felt about it. I had my writing done on the actual day, and then I just repeat stamped river. So again, bringing in that graphic type element, that was something that I really liked in this project overall, whether it was the stamping or the big enlarged handwriting like you saw on these overlays. Flowing into just a couple other pictures here. So not a ton of pictures, right, of everybody in my family in this particular project, partly because I chose a week when the kids weren't here the majority of the time, and our kids are older and they're busier and they're in and out, and some of them are here and some of them aren't here, and so that plays into a little bit of the overall story that's told via the photos that I included too. So weekend goodness on that one. And then I just finished it off with another one of my favorite photos from the week overall, which was when we were at the river. And this is a shot where I was holding my camera down underneath this flower here and then shooting up into the sky. And I feel like just, lots and lots of outside stuff, which is something that I'm really, prioritizing in my life right now. So I love seeing that reflected throughout the album. It feels fun to me. It feels like it's, I'm always really glad when this project is done, because I'm like, okay, now I can clear off my desk and get ready for the next thing. But it's also one of the projects that definitely means the most to me each year when I go back and look at it. And as many of you guys know, I started doing this in 2005. So many, many years of documenting what our weeks look like. And that, some of the ways that I've done it over the years have evolved and changed. And I feel like that's just a good representation of what should happen in our lives too. So, all right, you guys, as always, let me know if you have any questions on this project. And I hope to see you again for another project coming soon.